All right, welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen. Today we're going to be talking about Matthew Stafford, the captain of this team. And I'll tell you right now, if you thought that Matthew Stafford was washed, if you thought that Matthew Stafford needed to be traded, you were wrong. It's that simple. Before we dive into it, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogen, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. And also, of course, today's sponsor is Prize Picks. You can get $50 instantly when you sign up using my code JKBogen. You sign up, you play a lineup, and whether you lose or not, as long as you play a $5 lineup, you're going to get the $50 instantly added to your account. So that's JKBogen as the promo code, and I'll do you one even better. Thanks to Prize Picks, they're giving us a little gimme here. They've done it every week. In September, this is the last week. It's Caleb Williams taking on the LA Rams. All you need from Caleb Williams is one passing yard. It will not make or break the Rams game at all. So definitely be sure to get in on the action with Prize Picks and use the code JKBogen for $50 instantly on a $5 lineup, win or lose. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, so with Matthew Stafford, it blows me away how it seems like, as great as he is and as incredible as he can be, he still is underrated. I don't understand it. This is a quarterback that I've defended since he was on the Lions. I wanted him for 5 years before he became a Ram. I was very excited when they traded for him. I said not long after they traded for him on the live stream, the Rams are going to win the Super Bowl. And they did that. But it hasn't been smooth sailing. 2022 was a struggle. 2023, obviously, they get to 10-7. They struggled without Kyren Williams. They went 1-4, but they were the hottest team down the stretch to end the season. They lost by 1 point in a Lions game that, let's be honest here, they should have won. So now 2024 starts, and you see Stafford ball out once again against the Lions. Just absolutely outplayed Jared Goff once again, and they lose, and they lose in overtime. And then week 2, they get blown up 41-10 to their rival Cardinals that they normally bully. And then week 3, you're without Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, all of that, all these injuries, and you're able to overcome it. And Stafford, he did some incredible things in this game, but more importantly here, it's the bigger picture. Matthew Stafford completed his 48th game-winning drive of his career, including the playoffs, which I've always find funny because going back to the playoffs here, if you guys remember my earlier videos when the Rams first got Stafford and you had people on ESPN and so forth saying, well, Stafford has never won a playoff game before. He's not going to win it. He's not going to do anything for the Rams. Well, that was totally asinine, and I broke it down as to why. He had 4 touchdowns against the Saints, and the Saints just absolutely crushed them. They won by multiple possessions. Lions defense couldn't do anything. The Lions didn't really surround him with much, right? So he goes to the Rams, wins the Super Bowl instantly. But it's not just the fact he won a Super Bowl, it's the way he won it. Okay? He needed to come back in, a game like, of course, the 49er game, like the Super Bowl. He had to have that game-winning drive against the Buccaneers. This is Matthew Stafford. As soon as the pressure was on in the playoffs, he had never won a playoff game before. He went and won 4 in a row with the Rams because immediately, once he had a team that was able to actually work around him, look at what he was able to do. So 48th game-winning drive of his career, including the playoffs. He had 3, of course, in the playoffs, 3 out of 4 because they just blew out the Cardinals in the first round. That was also against the 49ers, by the way. That was his 38th fourth quarter comeback of his career in addition to that. So if you're counting, all the playoffs and everything, 38th of his career. But what does that mean? These are just numbers, Jake. Why do I care? What does that even mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. Stafford is 7th all time in the regular season with 45 game-winning drives, and that is 13 fewer than Tom Brady, who played until he was, 46? And he was in the number 1 position. So, look, 13 fewer than Tom Brady, and he's 10 years younger than where Tom Brady retired. So Stafford also is tied for 5th all-time with 36 fourth quarter comebacks. Now, these are just regular season, but he's tied for 5th all-time with 36 fourth quarter comebacks with Drew Brees. He's 10 away from Tom Brady, number 1 position there as well. So I'm going to say right now, it's not a shock. I think he's the most underrated quarterback in the league and maybe the most underrated player in football. He just does not get enough respect for whatever reason. He just doesn't get put. It's always like, oh, Mahomes did this, Mahomes did that. And then he does a no-look pass, and, you know, maybe in the broadcast they bring it up and they're like, oh, wow, you know, Stafford really just, he does a lot of these things and it never gets talked about. But the mainstream or whatever never talks about him. So look, the fourth quarter comebacks, in case you were wondering, Tom Brady has 46 in the regular season. Peyton Manning is 43. Ben Roethlisberger has 41. Matt Ryan has 38. Drew Brees has 36. Matthew Stafford just tied Drew Brees with 36. So that's where you're at there. And that's a big deal. You know, that's a huge deal. And I feel like if anybody ever doubted that Stafford would be a Hall of Famer, right? I just don't understand how you could think that. How could you think that he wouldn't be a Hall of Famer? I don't understand. I mean, we talk about a Hall of Fame caliber player, and he's won a Super Bowl. Are you going to hold it against him that he didn't win the Super Bowl MVP when he should have? I can tell you why he didn't win Super Bowl MVP. They didn't want to vote for Matthew Stafford because they said that he wouldn't do it. And when he did it, they're like, oh, well, we're just going to give it to Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp was fantastic. I'm not saying he wasn't. But the Stafford interceptions, neither were on him. He had to play this entire game in the Super Bowl with a third-string tight end who was very rarely used, a running back stable that was all banged up, Ben Skoranek, Van Jefferson, really young guys. Odell Beckham Jr. goes down with an injury. Tyler Higbee and Blanton are out. It's just what he was able to do was so impressive. And I just, for whatever reason, I feel like when you look at Stafford, his game-winning drives, I mean, he's just been so impressive, guys. He's just been so impressive. And the 49ers game, I can't stress enough, I think people are taking way too much for granted. Not everybody. But, and look, that doesn't mean, when I say for granted, that doesn't mean I'm saying you don't appreciate it. Taking it for granted and not appreciating, they're not the same thing. Taking it for granted is maybe not quite understanding the severity of the situation the Rams found themselves in. They needed a lot to go their way. Hell, they needed a fake punt to go their way to get them on, that right path. They needed Jake Moody, who's been very accurate, to miss a field goal. They needed Ronnie Bell to drop a pass that he ices the game if he catches. So there were quite a few things that had to go their way, but also Matthew Stafford leading 2 scoring drives in the final 3 minutes. Well, that's how you go from 95% chance of losing, a probability of losing, to then 100 of winning. The Rams only led in that 49er game for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. That's it. Matthew Stafford was his best when his best was required. Some people will say, oh, well, he underthrew, Tutu Atwell and so forth. Look, I get that. He's not perfect. No quarterback's perfect. Not even Patrick Mahomes is perfect. There's not one perfect player out there. But what I'm trying to say is now, Matthew Stafford is the reason why, like what you saw, this is the reason why people were so freaking upset about the Chase Daniel trade idea. It was asinine. People treat him like, I understand he's an older 36 because he was banged up because the Lions couldn't protect him to save their life. But the reality of the situation is this. He's 36. He's not 46. Now, a lot of people assume he's older because he feels like he's been in the league forever, because he has. He joined the league a year before Sam Bradford. I think Sam Bradford's been in the league for 5 years, if not close to it. It's close. So, look, Stafford has been everything and more. And what's so impressive about this win, is that Stafford, despite not having Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp, was able to make plays. He checks out of passes, checks into a run. Like at the goal line, he did that, led to a touchdown. He gets Kyron Williams involved. He's throwing at Tyler Johnson, Demarcus Robinson, Jordan Whittington, Tutu Atwell. He doesn't have all pros out there. Now, I think Tutu Atwell is a lot better than giving credit for it, but that's not the point. The point is, Stafford once again showed you why he is one of the elite quarterbacks in this league and why it's not even remotely close how much better he is than everyone else in the NFC. Not even close. It's not. I would say right now, and I feel confident saying this, Matthew Stafford is the third best quarterback behind Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. And I think he has an argument over Josh Allen, but I would give Josh Allen a nod because of his mobility. It's insane. But Stafford's got the rocket arm, and he's got some good mobility. Like, he looked like Fran Tarkenton, like I said on one of my shows, moving around the way he was. So he's got good ability too, or mobility, excuse me. He took up tennis, all that. But that's not mainly his game. He's a gunslinger. And the common denominator is always Stafford, Kupp, Calvin Johnson, Puka Nacua, all Stafford. What do the Rams have in Matthew Stafford? They have a quarterback that, despite the fact you have 15 injuries or whatever the hell they have, you don't feel like they're going to get crushed. That's why I think the Cardinal game was so shocking. Even when he's not being protected, he finds a way to get out of it. And he makes plays. And he's not overly athletic. He's not crazy fast. He just finds a way. So, I think the Rams are in good shape right now. They won a game I wasn't expecting them to win, and I still had them going to the playoffs at 0-3. Obviously, starting 0-3 and winning games. I shouldn't have to say that, but I guess I figured I would. But look, that's what I'm talking about, right? You get that win, Stafford plays the way he does, and guess what? Now you got the Bears. You got a rookie quarterback. Week 5 could be tough. It's the Packers, I get it, but if the Rams take care of business against the Bears and they win at least 2 games before the bye, they got Matthew Stafford. Guys are getting healthier. It's going to be it's going to work in the Rams' favor. We'll just say that. I'm curious where you guys are on Matthew Stafford, truthfully, but I thought those numbers were crazy. I mean, we're talking about a guy who people still question about his Hall of Fame status. Even though it was always about, do you win a ring? Yeah, he won a ring. He was a quarterback and won a ring for the Rams. I don't know, guys. He completed his 48th game-winning drive and his 38th fourth-quarter comeback when you count the playoffs. And he's 13 away from Tom Brady in game-winning drives and 10 away from him in fourth-quarter comebacks. Now, to be fair to Tom Brady, the fourth-quarter comebacks, he didn't trail much, right? So that's actually really, really impressive. And then, of course, the other one there, when you have the game-winning drives, not just fourth-quarter comeback, but just the game-winning drive, there you go. But how far does Stafford have to get the recognition? I'm just saying. So those are my thoughts. I was really impressed with the way Matthew Stafford played on Sunday against the 49ers. And I'll say this. I know the Bears defense looks really good right out of the gate. But when you think about who they've played, think about the young, just the inexperienced quarterbacks. Will Levis for starters, right? And you can't forget about CJ Stroud. Inexperience. Love CJ Stroud. I think he's fantastic, but he's still inexperienced. He still makes poor decisions. This happens. It does. Week 3, they're going up against Anthony Richardson. Richardson has all the raw talent in the world, but he still makes poor decisions. Matthew Stafford doesn't make the poor decisions that those 3 quarterbacks make. And that, to me, is why I feel really good moving forward, especially the Bears game. So we'll see. That's all I got for you guys. Appreciate you. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Follow me on all social media at JKBogie, including Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Kick. And I will see you guys in the next video. Be sure to check out Prize Picks. The code is JKBogan. Link is in the description below. I'll see you guys soon. Later, folks. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.